Welcome to episode 19 of In His Bag. And stuff has actually happened. So we have a lot to get to. So without further ado, I'll cue that intro music in 3, 2, 1.
Tedeschi dentro sotto per Dybala, attenzione, va la gioia, Dybala! Oh God! Stokely down the sideline! Can they catch him? Stokely! Wow!
They do have a timeout. Decide not to use it. Curry, way downtown. Bang! Bang!
There has been a lot to get to. And I guess we'll start off with the oldest stuff first and just go in order by date. So, first thing that has happened, PSG won the Champions League last Saturday. Not in the way that I predicted. I predicted that they were going to win 2-1 in regular time. It ended up going to penalties after Arsenal came out and scored in the 6th minute. Kai Havertz caught them off guard, but after that, Arsenal kind of receded into their shell, so to speak, played a very defensive game, kind of what they've been doing the entire season, but that ultimately led to PSG dominating. Final stat, 74% possession, 21 shots on goal, an expected goal count of 1.77. They only had one goal, which came from a Dembele penalty. But apart from the possession, it was really just Vitinha and João Neves. They dominated from start to finish. That midfield duo it was spectacular to watch. Vitinha finished with the most touches, passes completed, passes received, carries, carry distance, progressive carries, and shot attempts. While João Neves, he had 111 touches, 88% passing completion, 6 recoveries. He won 77% of the ground duels, 60% of his aerial duels. He had 7 passes in the final third, 11 touches in Arsenal's box, and it was just, they looked spectacular from start to finish. And even when they subbed out their players, because they eventually ended up subbing out Dembele, Vitinha, Neves, and Kvaratskhelia, they still looked confident going into penalties. It looked like they had clearly a lot more depth, which is something that I talked about with some of my friends after the game. They looked like they had a lot more depth and a lot more confidence, especially when you consider that Arsenal also subbed out a lot of their players as well. They brought off Odegaard, Saka, Trossard, and Havertz. They all subbed them off. And A, it didn't look like they had the talent to keep up. B, it was also their 63rd game of the season. So they were clearly tired. And then when penalties came, like I said, they subbed off Odegaard, Saka, Trossard, and Havertz. Those would have been 4 penalty takers right there. You wouldn't have had Eze and Gabriel taking those penalties. That's not happening. It probably would have been, their normal lineup would have been probably Odegaard, Saka, Havertz, Rice, and I don't know, one other player. But you just lost like 3 or 4 of your penalty takers, and that took a major impact because PSG just looked much more confident. Even though the one penalty that they missed, it was a great save by David Raya. And so PSG just looked like the better team from start to finish, and now they're back-to-back champions, something that no other team apart from Real Madrid has done since the tournament was restructured in 92. And now Luis Enrique, he joined Zidane, Pep, and Bob Paisley as the only manager with, I believe, 3 Champions Leagues, and the only manager with more is Ancelotti with 5. So it's just, insane what PSG has been able to do. And then for Arsenal, it's just history repeats itself. Another year without a Champions League trophy for them. They made it back to the final the first time in 20 years, but it seemed like their habit of living on the edges and just playing defensive caught up to them because you can't play defensive against a squad like PSG. They're too talented and they're going to catch you with something at some point, and it's just not going to end well. So that's ultimately what happened to them. But that is all I'm really going to say about Champions League. After we're going to move over to basketball for a brief moment to talk about Steph Curry. He is no longer a shoe free agent. He has signed a 10-year endorsement deal with Li Ning. They are a Chinese sports company originally founded by a Chinese Olympic weightlifter back in 1990. So the company it'll take on all of Curry brands. So that's basketball products, athletic leisure, that's golf stuff. It allows him to sign players to it as well, which is really interesting. And the reason he went with Li Ning, from everything that I've seen and understood, is because Steph has a very big fan base in China, a lot of notoriety. He's done a lot of tours in China, but then also the comfort of the shoe. He tried it out. Shoes from Jimmy Butler and Dwayne Wade, who both also have deals with Li Ning, and he said both of them were extremely comfortable as well. So that is the main reason. And now for Li Ning, this essentially it gives them the true big stepping stone into the U.S. market because majority of the revenue has come in China. But you sign Steph Curry for the next 10 years, and he is the most marketable player in the NBA probably at this point. Even on a down year, his jersey is still the highest selling jersey in the league. So Steph is just very marketable, and it opens up a lot of opportunities for Li Ning and what they're able to do. But enough of the NBA for now, at least. We'll talk about the finals later. Enough about Champions League. Let's talk about the NFL. Because what in the world is happening? First of all, the Browns are clinically insane. They sent Myles Garrett to the Rams for Jared Verse, a first rounder, a second rounder, and a third rounder. Excuse me? You just gave the Avengers a fucking Infinity Gauntlet. What are we doing here? Myles Garrett is Thanos. It just... Why? They really just lived up to their moniker of fuck them picks because they don't need them anymore. They're trying to capitalize on the Super Bowl window right now, which, hey, that is one heck of a Super Bowl window. But before we get into that, we got to talk about how this happened. So the Browns modified his contract in March, I believe. That made it easier for them to trade Garrett, and the Rams noticed that. And they did not take no for an answer. From what all the reports, they called the Browns non-stop, offering pick packages, the whole nine. And then eventually when the Browns said they wouldn't consider anything that didn't include Verse, the Rams were like, you want Jared Verse? All right, here, take him. Cool. We don't care. Give us Myles Garrett. So then the Browns just adjusted the pick compensation and got Myles Garrett, which is just what the heck. Dude has won two DPOIs in the past 3 seasons. He won it unanimously last year, breaking the sack record. He has 125.5 sacks over his career. And now you're adding him to a team that finished 12-5, were arguably one of the best teams in the league. They fixed their secondary issues by signing Trent McDuffie and Jalen Watson. So, what the heck are we doing here? And then for the Browns, they're clearly trying to prioritize their young core. He's 25, so he still has 2 years left on his rookie deal plus a fifth-year option. And now, this helps build out your defense because you can add Schlesinger, you have Schlesinger, you have Mason Graham, you have other young defensive talent there as well. So we're gonna go grades for the Rams. Kind of a hot take. I give them a C. Yes, their odds dropped from 8-2 to 13-2, which is absolutely insane. And Myles Garrett is arguably the best player in football. But Verse could arguably have been worth a first-round pick, and he is a very good run stopper, which Myles Garrett isn't exactly known for his run-stopping ability. On top of that, even though the Browns restructured his deal, you still got to pay him a lot of money. You got 31.5 in 2026, 41.7 in 2027, and then 24.8 in 2028, 40 in 2029, and then 40 in 2030. That is a lot of money. And now you're trying to, like I said, you've gone all in on the Super Bowl window. The Super Bowl window is whatever Matthew Stafford's longevity looks like, and he is 38. Last year he was coming in with extreme injury questions, so that is a major question. It also throws into doubt the Ty Simpson draft pick at 13. Why exactly do you do that? If you were talking to the Browns this entire time, why not use that number 13 overall pick to draft a contributor to help you win now? Why not take Mekhi Lemon? Why not be greedy and get a guy that can contribute right off the bat? That doesn't make sense to me at all. And then for the Browns, I'll give them an A. You got a lot of compensation back, and you didn't have to give up any to get Verse. Like I said, our Verse is arguably worth a first rounder himself. So now the Browns have 11 picks in the draft. You got 2 firsts, 3 fourths, 2 fifths, 2 sevenths. So that's a good haul right there for them. And with those picks, that also means there's a lot of moves that you could be made to get talent in what is a very good draft with players in positions of need. Jeremiah Smith, receiver, and some other stuff. On top of that, they're just you're exchanging ages. You're exchanging a 30-year-old guy for a 25-year-old guy who still has a lot of potential. So it's obviously a blockbuster move in terms of the NFL. I think my phone just blew up with about 70 notifications from work, friends, and just Twitter and my feed. So, yeah, I did not enjoy that. I think my phone nearly overheated. But after that, right after that happened, the Giants, a couple things happened with the Giants. First of all, they brought in a couple of receivers, and OBJ is back on the Giants, along with they signed Braxton Berrios and Juju Smith-Schuster as well. So the reason why they did this is they have been dealing with some injuries. Malik Neighbors, he tore his ACL in September, and they still don't know if he's going to be back for week 1. He's been missing time at OTAs. Darius Slayton's also sidelined at OTAs with a core injury, and then Gurner Olszewski just tore his ACL. I'm completely butchering that last name. So there are some issues with the Giants there. Apart from that, they don't really have a good receiving core. They finished 21st in passing yards and 24th in touchdowns last year, which isn't exactly something that I would say, inspires confidence in me. So that right there is a major issue. Aside from that, it's it's interesting. I'll say that it is very interesting. I think, yeah, it's cool. You bring in OBJ, the guy that when he came in with the Giants during his time there, he had 5,000 plus yards, 44 touchdowns. He was one of the best receivers in the league. Everyone remembers that one-handed OBJ catch going backwards. But um, this is a dude that's been dealing with injuries ever since he left the Giants. He had a decent stint with the Browns, but then he jumped to the Rams. He went to Baltimore. He went to Miami. Tore his ACL with the Rams in the Super Bowl, even though he was going to win MVP in that game. Tore his ACL and then jumped around to Baltimore, which is where he has his connection to Harbaugh. But during that time, he only had 35 catches for 565 yards. And then Miami didn't really do much. And then last year, he didn't even play. And then Juju as well. It's not like Juju is this fantastic guy. He had last year had 33 catches for 345 yards and he played in all 17 games. So we haven't seen that guy that was the true number one in Pittsburgh when I think he had like 1,200 receiving yards or something. That was a long time ago. So there's some questions about the quality of the players that they're bringing in. But aside from the players that they're bringing in, Russell Wilson retired from the NFL, and he is now becoming a analyst for CBS Sports, replacing Matt Ryan, and joining the pregame show that includes James Brown, Nate Burleson, and Bill Cowher. So this came well. Obviously, he announced his retirement after this news of him joining CBS came out. But before that, he was basically benched for Jackson Dart after 3 games. He played atrociously. Let's just put it that game. He went 0 for 3. He had 831 yards in those 3 games, 3 touchdowns with 3 interceptions. He did not look good at all. And he didn't really have any other offers from the rest of the league. He had an offer to back up Geno, which isn't that great. We all know the Jets are probably going to try and tank this year. So it's the end of the career of one of the greatest players of the past decade. This is a dude that's 10-time Pro Bowl selection, Super Bowl champion, Walter Payton Man of the Year. It's a dude that made it to back-to-back Super Bowls. He's thrown for 46, almost 47,000 yards, 353 touchdowns. This guy is 5th in passing yards, 30 touchdowns since he entered the league. He's also 4th among running backs in rushing yards, like all time. So this is an extremely good quarterback. It's just sad that he kind of just petered out at the end of his career and it just quietly went downhill and just poofed into thin air. So that was a bit tough to see. But going to one of Russell Wilson's former teams, the Pittsburgh Steelers made a couple moves in free agency. One of them was extending edge Nick Herbig to a 4-year, $100 million extension that includes $42 million guaranteed. And the deal for Nick Herbig is very, very interesting. It's interesting because he is the first non-quarterback to land a $100 million contract. He's never started a full season. He's the first player to ever have done that without having started a full season. He's played in 45 games over the course of his young career, but he's only started in 11. He started in 6 games last year and 5 his sophomore year. He didn't start any his rookie year. It's a very interesting position. But I will say, despite only starting in 6 games, he still had 7.5 sacks. He had 13 tackles for loss, 18 quarterback hits. He had the highest pass rush win rate in the NFL. He also forced 3 forced fumbles. And excuse me, recovered one for a touchdown. So this is a dude that he produces at an extremely high level. And now the Steelers, they've secured him and JJ Watt for the foreseeable future. I think JJ Watt is until 2028, and then Herbig is until 2030. Alex Highsmith is a bit in question because his deal is a lot shorter. But the Steelers keep their edge rush depth in terms of what they're able to present on the defensive side of the ball, make coaches always have to think about that, strategize, figure out who's going to be the number one this week. Is it going to be Watt? Is it going to be Highsmith? Is it going to be Herbig? All of these guys are dangerous. What the heck do we do here? So it's a very big move for the Steelers. And speaking of big moves, we have a big move for the biggest tight end I have ever seen in my life and probably will ever see in my life. The Steelers also agreed to a 4-year extension with Darnell Washington, except he's not getting $100 million. He's only getting $42 million, but half of that is fully guaranteed. So Darnell Washington is also staying in Pittsburgh. And he's the second player from the 2023 class that they has extended. Herbig was the first. And Mike he's really high on Darnell Washington. He said he's been impressed with him. He's doing everything right from what I read from the McCarthy quote. He's showing up early, he's staying late. He understands the schemes, and he's doing everything that you want. And it's obviously he's not the true receiving threat of some of the other tight ends in the league. He only had 31 receptions for 364 yards last year and one touchdown. But this dude that he's like 6'7", 300 pounds. He's a red zone threat no matter what. He's somehow very explosive. I don't understand the physics of his body. It confuses me to the highest degree imaginable. But that size also makes him a good run blocker as well. So there are definitely some perks of having him. But now the Steelers, they've extended 2 players from that 2023 class, but none of these guys are full-time starters. Joey Porter Jr. has been a full-time starter for you in the past, and he is currently holding in. He does not have a deal. What exactly is happening here? You could have an extremely good secondary, but having Joey Porter Jr. there is part of the process of having a good secondary. Without him, the secondary isn't what you want it to be. So I think the Steelers have to nail that contract out at some point, or else they are going to be in a big hole, because having a good secondary is what exactly is going to boost you up and help you overcome some of the challenges that you're going to face during the season. And then a lot of extensions so far. It's been absolutely insane. Drake London also got extended. I believe he got a 4-year deal worth $141 million, potential to be $150 million. So this dude also got paid, apart from the worth of $141 million. It includes $100 million guaranteed, which is absolutely insane. It makes him the third highest paid receiver behind JSN and Jamar Chase. Aside from that, he's staying with the Falcons through 2030. They've done the smart thing, keeping one of their major offensive weapons in the building, which you didn't really have a choice. This guy has been, apart from Bijan, one of your only sources of offense. He was the 8th overall pick in 2022, 309 catches, almost 4,000 yards, 22 touchdowns. He's never gone over 860 yards in a season. 2024, he had 1,200 yards, almost 1,300, 9 touchdowns, 100 catches. And that's all with mediocre quarterbacks is putting it nicely. He had He had Desmond Ridder. He had Marcus Mariota. He had Taylor Heineke. He had Kirk Cousins. He had Michael Penix. Like, that's not exactly Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre type of backup starter situation here. No, Desmond Ridder is struggling to get a job. Taylor Heineke retired. Marcus Mariota is an eternal backup. Michael Penix is now in a quarterback battle with Tua, which in and of itself says a lot. And then Kirk Cousins is also backup starter, who knows what, in Las Vegas. So that's interesting. And then apart from that, this has some big impacts for the team. You've locked down the first of 3 of your offensive weapons. Bijan Robinson is playing on his 5th-year option this year. So most of the time when you give or pick up the 5th-year option with your star running back, you're trying to work for some extension. And when the 5th-year option was picked up, Schefter reported that you were going to try and work out a long-term deal, and you haven't yet. You guys picked up that 5th year a while back. I think it was at least a couple months ago. But free or offseason is still going, so there still is time. Apart from Bijan, you also have Kyle Pitts, who is currently sitting on the franchise tag, and you still have about a month and change to give him a long-term deal before the franchise tag is fully locked in. So you have some moves that you need to make. You need to sign Pitts. You need to sign Bijan because, like I said, your quarterbacks right now are Michael Penix and Tua. The more offensive weapons those dudes get, the better. If not, your offense is going to be horrible. And you won't survive. Even in the NFC South, you won't survive with Tua and Penix as your QB1s without a weapon. That just won't work. But sticking on receivers, Christian Watson also got a deal. 4-year deal, $110.5 million, $31 million signing bonus. So this is interesting for the Packers because they have made a lot of moves in terms of their receiver room. They allowed Romeo Doubs to sign with the Patriots. They traded Dontavian Wicks to Eagles. But then you extended Jaden Reed for 3 years, $50.25 million. So it's an interesting situation with the Packers and their receiver room, especially considering what the details of this deal. It's an average of $27.6 million over the course of the contract, which, for those of you that don't know, the receiver franchise tag this year was 27.3. 27.6, 27.3. See the difference there? 0.3. Not a lot, which is low-key. You could have just used the franchise tag, but agreeing to a long-term deal is nice. The thing is, however, Watson has been dealing with some injury concerns. He has yet to play an entire season in the league. He's missed 18 games over the course of his career. He's had major hamstring issues, which isn't good for an explosive receiver. He tore his ACL in 2024, which isn't good either. So there are still a lot of questions to be answered when it comes to the Packers. I think that, cool, yeah, that this could work out, but I don't know. I am not that moved by this. I think it would have been a lot better if you did, like, by committee, you kept some of those other guys. I'm not moved by the combination of Jaden Reed, Christian Watson, and Matthew Golden as your receiver room. It just does. I'm not thrilled about that. Let's put it that way. But after that, staying in the NFC North, the Bears are moving to Indiana. What in the world is happening? It's insane, but the Bears are leaving Chicago for Hammond, Indiana, which, if you have heard of Hammond, Indiana, please feel free to inform me about it because I know absolutely nothing about it. Yeah, apparently they're going to start building the stadium there. I had heard about that they were potentially moving because Soldier Field is rickety old and ancient. But it just feels weird that the Bears are no longer in Chicago. I mean, yeah, they're not going to call themselves the Hammond Bears or whatever the heck that would be, but they're still going to be called the Chicago Bears. But it just feels strange. Who knows? Maybe it won't be that weird. Maybe it'll just be like the 49ers, who 49ers, they don't play in San Francisco. They play in Santa Clara, which is what, hour drive between them. Like San Francisco is here. You got Santa Clara is like here. This is the peninsula and the Bay Area. It's like down the peninsula. But it might be something like that. But who knows? After that, what in the world is happening to the NBA? So the finals is happening right now, and the Knicks somehow keep winning basketball games. They have now won 13 straight games. How, you may ask? I don't know. It is black magic. They've won 13 straight. They haven't lost since they were down 2-1 to the Hawks. They won 3 straight there. They swept the Sixers. They swept the Cavs. And they are up 2-0 on the Spurs. Game 1, they won 105-95. It was, I wouldn't say it was a comfortable win, but it wasn't like an insane, like really, really tight game. Brunson had to come up clutch late in the game to kind of just take it away. As you see, the Spurs were ahead for a large part of this game. They were up at one point by 14 in the third, but then the Knicks came back, as you see by this, like the probabilities here. Knicks came back and they were up by 8 at one point late in the fourth. So it was just a very, very interesting. It was a back and forth game the entire time, which absolutely I really loved this playoff series for them. And then game 2 just wrapped up, and it was insane. So if you look at the probabilities here, the Spurs led for essentially the entire first half. Started off with the lead, and they didn't give it up until like end of the second quarter, end of the first half. After that, the Knicks built up a 14-point lead in the fourth and proceeded to squander it to give San Antonio a 2-point lead with 57 seconds left. After that, some of the most bizarre basketball I've ever watched happen. Jalen Brunson proceeded to be Mr. Clutch again. Beautiful fadeaway. But then after that, a series of very, very bizarre events happened. I think, yeah, because New York, even the score at 104 with Brunson, and then after that, Spurs go down. They miss. Wemby forces a 3 and he misses it. Air balls. And then Brunson takes the ball up the court, or timeout, and then takes the ball up the court. He then proceeds to miss the shot, which that's not good, right? Proceeds to miss a shot. He misses, and this is early in the shot clock, so there's still plenty of time left here. But then you proceed to I don't think I'm remembering this completely right, but you proceed to miss. Brunson proceeds to miss as well. So you kind of look frozen. Wemby looked frozen. He was like, "What the heck am I doing here? Why do I have the ball?" So, Knicks get the ball. Brunson misses. Then Wemby gets the rebound, and the Spurs don't realize they have a timeout. So Wemby just throws it at Stephon Castle's back, and there's a turnover. Turnover right there. So it's Knicks' ball, and the Spurs foul. Like, Knicks get the turnover, Spurs foul. Brunson's at the line. He makes the first. He misses the second. So it's still 105, 104. You have a chance to win here. He misses the second one, and low-key was a kick ball by Cornette. He kind of trapped it with his foot, but my dad asked me this. You can't really review non-called kickballs, even if the Spurs or the Knicks had a challenge. But then you get it down, you get the timeout, and Wemby, a tough jumper that he just wasn't able to get, and the Knicks come away with the 105-104 victory. I completely butchered that end of game summary, so go rewatch that because it was an insane ending to the game. But the Knicks are now up 2-0 going back to MSG. And it looks like they might win the finals for the first time since I think it was 72. What the fudge is happening to New York City? What is going to happen if they win this series? Apart from the fact that there are seats at MSG that cost $81,000. The nosebleeds up in the boonies cost $10,000, which is insane. So it's just a wild series of events that is unfolding in the NBA Finals. I don't even know what to make of it at this point. But yeah, so that is everything that has happened so far in terms of the finals. When we look at the schedule here, today is Friday. We have Game 3, first game in New York is going to be on Monday, 5:30. All these games are at 5:30 Eastern, or 5:30 Pacific, 8:30 Eastern. So Game 3 is on Monday. Game 4 is on Wednesday. And then those are the only two games that are happening before our next show. So you got Game 3 on Monday, Game 4 on Wednesday. Knicks could potentially close it out if they sweep. I highly doubt that's going to happen. I think the Spurs get at least one. These games have been extremely competitive, and I don't think Wemby's going to allow himself to get swept. So they're going to take a game at least. But still a very, very competitive series there. But that is all the news that I have to talk about in terms of what is gonna go down. Now it is time to get into the main topic of the episode. And as we all know, the World Cup is fast approaching. So I thought that it was only fair to kind of just go through and talk about all of it. I know that I gave my World Cup previews predictions officially right as soon as all the groups were announced. If you have not watched that episode, go back and watch it. I don't remember what exactly it was, but it is out there on Spotify and YouTube. You can go back, look at it, see my official predictions. So I'm just going to start recapping, just going through everything right now. And I'm starting off I'm going straight through with the groups. Starting off, Group A, you got Mexico, South Korea, Czechia, and South Africa. I think Mexico's going to come out on top here, and then South Korea's second, Czechia's third, South Africa's fourth. I think this group is pretty set. I don't think there's going to be anything too crazy that goes down in this group. Group B is going to be Switzerland, Canada, Bosnia Herzegovina. I hate them, and Qatar. Group B, I got Switzerland coming out on top, followed by Canada, and then Bosnia and Qatar rounding it out. I just think Switzerland is a better squad than Canada, more European experience in just every facet. Group C is extremely competitive for me. I had a hard time thinking about who's going to win between Brazil and Morocco. I think that they could potentially tie that game between them and then just be at 7 points. They both beat Scotland and Haiti. I just think it might be on goal differential that Brazil wins this group. And then Scotland is third and Haiti is fourth. Group D is USA, Turkey, Australia, and Paraguay. I got the U.S. coming out on top, but Turkey is a very talented squad. They have a nice roster. They got young players like Yildiz, Arda Güler, and other players as well. Çalhanoğlu, talented guys that can really make an impact and will make the game against the USA very interesting, to say the least. That is Group D. Group E, you got Germany and Ecuador. Clearly the top two teams in this group. Germany going to come out on top, I think, pretty handily. Won't be much of a debate. After that, you got Ecuador. I think, like I said, top two, and there's in this group, it's just not even close, because then you got Cote d'Ivoire, Ivory Coast, and Curacao, the smallest country to have ever qualified for a World Cup. Don't even get me started on them and everything that they have done. And my anger that Italy did not qualify, but Curacao did. But Germany, clearly the top team in this group, followed by Ecuador. And that's Group E. Group F is arguably one the most competitive. You got the Netherlands, Sweden, Japan, and Tunisia. I think the Netherlands come out on top. I think they are the more talented group. But Sweden and Japan are also very good. Japan is very technical in all aspects, and they can do a lot of damage. Sweden is also, they have the combination of Gyökeres and Isak, who could just flip the game any minute, which could be very interesting to see. And then Tunisia is the last team in this group. It is kind of an afterthought at this point. Group G is kind of a stinker. They're playing a lot of their games up in Seattle. That's a whole other discussion. Belgium is coming out on top in this group. I think it's pretty easy, followed by Egypt and Mo Salah, and then Iran and New Zealand rounding it out. Still all the questions about Iran and what the heck is going to happen with them. I don't have any answers to that because I don't know myself. But that is Group G. Group H, I think, again, it's kind of like, I think it was the Germany group, Germany, Ecuador. Group H is Spain and Uruguay, and they're just miles ahead of Saudi Arabia and Cabo Verde. It's not even close here. I think that they're just the better team from start to finish. There's no really debate here. But Spain's coming out on top, Uruguay second, Saudi Arabia third, and then Cabo Verde is last. And then Group I. Very interesting. Group of death in this tournament. It's France, Senegal, Norway, and Iraq. Kind of like Group H. Or no, not Group H. The I think Group F it was. The group with Netherlands, Sweden, and Japan. That last team is kind of just a throwaway. No one really cares because France is number one in the world right now. Senegal is coming off of a controversial AFCON loss. And then Norway has Odegaard, Holland, and Sorloth. So these are all extremely talented teams that could potentially be very dangerous. But I got France coming out on top just because they are coming off of back-to-back finals. They won 2018, lost to Argentina in arguably the best World Cup game ever. Senegal is also very talented, so I have them coming out at second. I think they're more overall talented than Norway. And then Norway third, Iraq is just big fat zero. Thanks for coming. Group J, I got Argentina coming out on top. Clear favorite in this group, and it's not close. And then you got Austria second, Algeria third, and then Jordan fourth. And then K, Portugal clearly top of the list for me. Portugal has a really, really nice squad. You got that nasty midfield trio of Vitinha, João Neves, and Bruno Fernandes. Absolutely disgusting there. You got Leao, you got Ronaldo, you got Conceição, you got Goncalo Ramos, you got Bernardo Silva. You have extremely talented players. You got Ruben Diaz. So Portugal is a very talented team. Colombia second, and then Uzbekistan and Congo. Thanks for coming. Cool. And then Group L, last group, you got England, Croatia, Ghana, and Panama. I got England coming out on top, followed by Croatia, Ghana, and Panama. And if you guys have not watched my preview episode for the World Cup, this is my full list of all the teams that are going to make it through to the elimination stage. I got France beating England in the finals. I got Spain, Argentina, France, and England in the semifinals. The whole 9 yards here. Again, if you have not watched that episode, go back and watch it. I give my details of why I think they're going to win in everything. It's all broken down there. But I think that we should put all of these teams into a tier list. So, here we go. I got all the teams lined up, all 48 of them. Let's see, first of all, if my memory served me right and I can remember all 48 flags, which, cross my fingers, I hope I do. Probably won't, but if I do, round of applause to me. Starting off first, Senegal. Senegal could be very interesting. They have talent. Like I've said when I was just going over them, they made controversial AFCON finish, but they do have talent. They can be very dangerous. You've pushed Morocco to the absolute brink, and they made the semifinals last tournament. So they could be very interesting and make some teams sweat extremely hard. Same with Norway for me as well. With, like I mentioned, the combination of Sorloth, Holland, and Odegaard. That Sorloth and Holland alone can change the game whenever they feel like it. So that is a big, big X factor. And then you have Odegaard behind them, just able to provide passes through, it just changes their dynamic completely. They could be very, very dangerous. It's just their group is extremely tough, so they'll qualify as like a third place team. I just don't know if them qualifying as a third place, how bad their draw is going to be, which is a major, major tipping factor. But they could be very interesting. England, I have them as potential winners. I think England, like I said, I had England going to the finals. I think they are extremely good. They have talent all over the field. Saka, Rashford has been in form now. You got Rice, and you got all of these guys who are just extremely good. I like what they can do in this tournament, especially if they win their group. I feel like their side of the bracket will be a lot lighter. The only real challenge that they'll have to face getting to the finals would most likely be Brazil if they make it to. If Brazil wins the group, if they don't win the group, it'll be Morocco, which I think that England will be able to handle Morocco. Um, After that, the Netherlands. I also have them as an interesting team. I don't think that they're going to be a serious contender. They haven't been in a while since 2010, 2014 when they made finals and semifinals the year after. I just think that there's a lack of attacking talent really that can capitalize on the opportunities that they're going to be given by players like Frankie De Jong and Cody Gakpo. Also, not having Xavi Simons there is a massive blow to them because he's really good in international play. And then Colombia, I'd say first rounded. I don't think they're at the level of these interesting teams, but they will definitely make it to the second round or the elimination stage. Like I mentioned, their group isn't the strongest. Germany, I have serious contender. I think Germany, extremely talented roster. I just saw that Leinart Karl will miss the World Cup due to injury, which is a big blow because he is extremely talented. But I don't think, for me, Germany has talent. They have Musiala. I love Joshua Kimmich. Manuel Neuer's coming back for, I don't even remember how many World Cup he's played in at this point, but it's a lot. You have Gnabry. You have all of these guys as well. You have the Newcastle striker. I'm forgetting his name as well, but he's also a monster. So you have talent. I just don't know. I don't think it's to the level of being a potential winner. It's definitely not to the level of France, which is, for me, top tier. They're going to win, and it won't be close. Like, you look at their offensive talent, you got Cherki, you got Elise, you got Dembele, you got Mbappe, you have Due, you have Barcola. You also, in the midfield, you have Kante, you have Joao Meni. Like, in the backfield, you got the defenders, you got Upamecano, you got Saliba, you have Manyan in goal. Like, their team is just loaded with talent. And even all of those attackers, like, you can only start three. What the heck are you gonna do with the others? Like, it'll probably be Mbappe, Dembele, and Olise or something like that. What are you gonna do with Due? What are you gonna do with Cherki? What are you gonna do with Barcola? Those guys are coming off the bench. Those guys could start on a lot of national teams, and you're having them come off the bench. France is just absolutely loaded from top to bottom. They are, for me, winners. The U.S. hot take. I have them first rounded. I think yes, they're gonna be able to win their group, which cool. That's nice. I don't think that after that they'll be able to do much of anything. I think that they could potentially lose their group to Turkey because Turkey, like I said, they have a very nice roster, very talented, could do a lot of damage with the players that they have. So USA could be just booted out in the first round. After that, Mexico, I also have them first round as well. I think that they're going to probably win their group, but like the U.S., I don't think they're just that good in terms of what they bring to the table in the elimination stage. And then we're going to start getting to some of these U qualified teams. Saudi Arabia, Algeria, Iraq, Iran, Canada, um, first round after you make the elimination stage. Cool. I think they're going to win their group. Or no, I did not have them winning their group. I had Switzerland winning their group, but they'll qualify second. And coming in second means you play a first place group. So you are going to get murdered by one of these teams. And I don't think that it'll be that competitive. And then Egypt, sadly, you qualified. Mo Salah, I'm sorry. You are a gem to many, but I don't think you will be able to lift your team out of the qualifying group. Keeping in mind, though, we'd only have 16 teams in the qualifying group here in the U qualified because 32 teams out of the 48 make it to the elimination stage. So I got to be careful with this. Spain also winners. I think Spain has a very good team, very dangerous from top to bottom. They could win honestly this year. They have all the talent in the world to make everything work for them. Like Lamine Yamal, you have Pedri, you have Rodri, you have all of these guys who are just mind-boggling good. Morocco, serious contenders. We saw what they did in 2022, and they beat interesting interestingly won the AFCON title. I won't say they beat Senegal, but they came away with the AFCON title. Let's just put it that way. So came away with the AFCON title, nice and dandy. But even aside from that, they are a very talented team that can they can take advantage of a lot of issues that you present to them. They will take advantage of the holes in the team. After that, Belgians, I think, interesting. Potentially, I think that they could make it out of the first round of the elimination stage. They make it to the round of 16, but I don't think they move much farther beyond that, for me at least. After that, Cote d'Ivoire, cool, you qualified. Nice job. Congratulations. And then Switzerland, first round. Actually, yeah, first round. I don't know that they'll be able to truly just make an impact on the rest of the group. And now I'm looking at this tier list here. I feel like I should have another tier between first round and interesting, just because there are going to be some teams that win their first round matchup, but they're not really, really interesting. I feel like the teams in interesting could make a deeper push past the round of 16 to like the quarterfinals or something. Serious contenders are like semifinals, quarterfinals, like serious push there. But I don't know. I'll look at that. Curacao, cool. Thanks for coming. Salute, smallest nation ever qualify. I really don't give a Houdini's flying hoot and who's cares about you. Sweden. I think first round might be the wrong label for that. I'll put them there. I'm going to change the title of this to Early Exit. Because Early Exit feels a lot more fitting. Like, it's round of 32, round of 16. Like, the teams in interesting, they'll make it to I say all the teams in interesting have the potential to make it through round of 16 and beyond. I don't think the teams in Early Exit have the potential to make it past the round of 16. So round of 16 is the ceiling for early exit, and interesting, round of 16 is the floor for me. So I got Sweden in early exit. I think they make it to the round of 16, but that's their ceiling. They're capped out there. Czechia, salute, cool. Thanks for coming. Turkey. Turkey, I have as a high end round, high end early exit. So they're making the round of 16. I think that they could be very, very good, but I just don't know what exactly it's going to look like for them. And then we'll knock out a couple of these other teams. Qatar, you qualified, cool. Tunisia, qualified, cool. Australia, early exit. I think they make it out of the group stage as like a third place team, but round of 16 or round of 32, I think they get sent home pretty handily by whoever they end up facing there. Japan, I think Japan makes the quarterfinals. Or not the quarterfinals, round of 16. I think that they could be very, very good there. They could be dangerous. I like the Japanese in the way they play. I also just like Japan in general. Um, but I think the Japanese, they're very structured. They have talent too. It's just they've been dealing with some injuries on their team, and they're in a very, very tough group as well. So that could also be a factor in how everything plays out there. Bosnia, cool, you qualified. Yes, that is a personal vendetta for me because they knocked out Italy, but then again, I also do not care. And I got to be careful here. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 teams in you qualified. I only have 5 more here. So I got to be a bit careful with what exactly I'm doing here. Uruguay, interesting. You could be interesting. I'm not moved too much by the roster. Like, Luis Suarez is no longer there. Cavani, no longer there. Godin, no longer in the back. You have Valverde, cool. Who else do you have? You'd be interesting. I just don't think you're a serious contender to really do anything. I mean, you could make the quarterfinals, yeah, but I don't think you're going much farther than that. Argentina, winners. They have a chance to make it back there, I think. With everything that they have, they could be extremely, extremely dangerous. Like, Messi's back. The team is just very good. Like, you got young talent everywhere as well to be able to take advantage of that. Scotland, early exit, I think. They'll make it out. They'll make it as a third place team, considering that the group is relatively challenging. But it'll be, for me, round of 32. If they're a third place team, the round of 32 exit makes just perfect sense to me in terms of their placement. And this is where the flags get a bit tricky for me. I believe this is Paraguay. I'm putting them in no, I think they make elimination stage early, very early exit. I'm gonna seal off the U qualified. Uzbekistan, you qualified. Congo, you qualified. New Zealand, you qualified. And who is this country? No, why am I blanking on this country? They also qualified. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Cred. I'm looking at these teams here, and I'm not happy about it because I would send all of these teams into U qualified. I would send South Africa there. I would send Jordan there. I would send Ghana there. I would send Panama there. But I can't. I think I'll send Jordan. That is not a Palestine flag. They're cutting out a piece of that. That is Jordan's flag. So don't butcher me on that. Brazil, serious contenders. Same with Portugal and Croatia, as we've seen. They are always some capacity extremely dangerous. I don't know why Croatia is always dangerous, but they just are. Especially in this Modric era, it's just you can't doubt that man. He will get them far in the tournament, no matter what. So then Panama, very early exit. I got Ghana, very early exit. South Africa, very early exit. Austria, go there. They could make it to the round of 16. I don't think they'll make it farther. Same with Ecuador, round of 16 potentially. And then South Korea and them in early exit. I think they get eliminated right off the bat in the elimination stage, round of 32. But that is all of the teams, all 48 teams, tier listed in terms of winners, serious contenders, interesting, early exit, and congrats. You qualified. If you noticed in you qualified, it's a lot of Middle Eastern Asian teams, a lot of teams qualifying for their first World Cup or first World Cup in an extremely long time. And then the serious contenders, you have all of the perennial contenders. You got France, England, Spain, Argentina, Germany, Brazil, Portugal, Croatia, Morocco, all of the classic teams you expect to see there. So tune in for that. But there are some other things that I have to talk about when it comes to the World Cup. One of the biggest things that has been talked about when it comes to the World Cup is the tickets. I mentioned the Knicks tickets, like $81,000 or $81,000 for some tickets to the Knicks game at MSG. The World Cup has also been dealing with some ticket issues as well. It was just, I think, a couple days ago that FIFA reportedly canceled 60 tickets that were distributed to fans for games, mainly in Toronto, because they weren't charged for these tickets, and so FIFA had to withdraw them, cancel their orders, and offer the tickets at full price. They were like, yeah, we regret any errors and inconvenience this caused. You can buy them at full price. They're reserved for you, but pay full price. FIFA? Why is your system glitching? You're a week out from the World Cup. You cannot have your system glitching out on you. That is a major, major issue. But that's not even the start of their issues. Like, you have the Attorney General from New York and one from Jersey. And like they've subpoenaed FIFA and are investigating them into their ticketing practices. Like, prices have gone through the roof, and it just doesn't make sense at all. Like, fans I read, don't ask me why I spent my time reading the entire thing, but they said that FIFA created fan zones, added a front section in each category after ticket sales has already started. They said that fans in the original zones were excluded from those added front sections. They got assigned less desirable seats, like farther from the field or behind the goals. Like it's been a very very weird situation, and that's building on the fact that we don't really know what's happening. Um, Infantino said all 104 games have been sold out. You sure about that? Have they been sold out to individual people, or they've been sold out to other ticketing companies like Ticketmaster and stuff like that, who then try to resell the tickets because reselling is legal here in the U.S. I don't think people are going to be exactly tuning in to watch Curacao or Cabo Verde here in the U.S. First of all, people from those countries, no offense, don't exactly have the financial capabilities to travel to the United States and pay for the trip, pay for the hotel, pay for the game. You don't have, no offense, but I don't think people from those countries have that much money lying around that they can be like, oh, I'm going to go watch my national team in all their glory and bring enough people to, sure, maybe there might be like two or three, or maybe like more, like a couple dozen, but there's not enough to fill a stadium of like native people from Curacao or Cabo Verde or wherever the heck these teams are from. Uzbekistan. Like, what the heck are we talking about here? So that's one thing. Another thing, ticket prices are very high, and I found it very interesting that FIFA operates their own resale platform. They make a 15% commission from both buyers and sellers. You're making a commission from selling tickets, and the tickets are, I think, at a record high right now. Are they a record high because we're in the US and everything is expensive here? Or are they a record high so you can profit off of this? I don't know. Something seems a little fishy here. And that's just aside from the fact that you have raised the prices of more than 90 games, which is insane. And that is after when it was first announced that the US, Canada, and Mexico were going to host the World Cup. You said some tickets were going to be sold for $21. You said hundreds of thousands of tickets are going to be sold for $21. That has not happened. That has not even come close to happening. So there are a lot of issues here with what has happened in terms of ticketing, and a lot of complaints that are being raised from fans all around the world. But enough being said about the tickets. Who gives a Houdini's hoot about tickets, anyways? We are gonna look at the games, preview a lot of them, or not preview. I'm just gonna go over the games that are happening between now and our next show. Next show is on Friday, June 12th. If you didn't know, if you can't do 5 plus 7. But the games start on Thursday, June 11th. And first game is Mexico versus South Africa in Mexico City. And then second game on Thursday, you got South Korea versus Czechia, also in Mexico. After that, on Friday, day this episode comes out, I will be watching these games, even though I'm at work. Shh, don't tell my boss, please. You got Canada and Bosnia-Herzegovina in Toronto, and then you got the United States versus Paraguay in SoFi Stadium. So those are the only two games that are going to happen or the 4 games that are going to happen between now and the next show. But yeah, games like South Korea and Czechia. Who in Guadalajara? Who in the world is traveling to Guadalajara to watch South Korea and Czechia? I don't know. Me either. But hey, it's whatever at this point. But that is all that I have for the main topic, all that I have in terms of World Cup news, takes, rankings, tier lists, all that. So, without further ado, I say that we jump right into game time. Welcome to game time. We are, I don't want to say switching things up, but we're going in different order today, as I have been doing just to make things interesting. We're going to start off with a quiz, soccer based, as the main episode at least, and we're going to do Ballon d'Or winners. So let's start. Messi, Ronaldo, Dembele, Modric, Benzema. 2024 was Rodri, Yamal, Nedved, Cannavaro, Zidane, Cruyff. Oh, we're not going back that far. Never mind. Oh, it has the original Ronaldo. Who was winning it before that? Well, Iniesta, Xavi, Neymar, Suarez. It's not on here. Fair enough. Van Dijk, Lewandowski. Who else was winning Ballon d'Ors? I am not going to be happy that I don't remember these. Henri never won one. I know that for a fact. Ronaldinho, Kaká. Didn't Cafu? No. Wrong player. I think that's it for Italy. In England. I don't know if anyone won in England. I want to say there's more people in Spain. The 90s. Oh, bro. I'm just throwing in all of the greats from this era because I know they're on here to some degree. I know Buffon is on here. Neuer is on here. I know that. Casillas on here. That would have been crazy. No. Is Cruz on here ever? No. I don't think anyone on Bayern ever won it. Recently, at least. Who are these other players? Oh. No. Van Basten. Van Basten has won more than one Ballon d'Or. Not Royd Hullett. Seedorf hasn't. Oh my goodness. Who are these players? Van Basten has won more than one Ballon d'Or. Maldini's on here. I know that for a fact. I just put Nesta, didn't I? Who are these? I'm gonna be very mad that I don't know this. Oh, Vinicius. Mbappe. Who the heck did that just... Oliver Kahn? Really? Whatever. Not the point. Is Philip Lahm ever on here? No. Well, that's embarrassing. Oh, Holland. Jorginho was third. Griezmann, Ribéry, Torres, Shevchenko, Owen, Figo, Rivaldo, Weah, Stoikov, Baj. Oh, I didn't spell it right. God damn it. Shevchenko I probably should have gotten. Yeah. Vitinha makes sense. Yeah, that's embarrassing. That is very embarrassing. Now we will be building an NBA center. Current players only. We start the Mavericks. We'll go Gafford's finishing. That is not bad. And then we can take Clippers. Please don't. Keep going. Ah, fudge. Can Lopez even shoot anymore? I guess we'll take Brook Lopez shooting. Because who else do they have? They have John Collins, but I don't really want to take Collins. Klingen's a big body. He's a big body. He's what, 7'2", I think. Please. Thunder. Right. We'll go Hartenstein. Hartenstein. I don't know how to spell that. Hartenstein. And then, please. Ew. Raptors. Oh, Scotty's not a center at all. God dang it. We'll go Jakob Pertl dribbling, I guess. And then, please give me... There is one passer here that I want. And we can't build players from the same team. So, that is a rule that has been established. Please... Nuggets. That is perfect. Jokic passing. That is not too bad. Honestly, that is not too bad. I'm not upset with that. I just think I have a lot of questions about that shooting and also the dribbling. Those are two big questions that I have to answer. But we are gonna keep going. We're gonna build, try to beat the Monstars. This is all-time players, obviously. We start off with the Timberwolves. So, obviously, I go KG at power forward. Or I can go Ant and just cancel out Ants. Because the only other real liability there would be like Jordan or Kobe. I'm going to take Ant, which is a bit controversial. But worst comes to worst, he cancels out with the other Anthony Edwards. And then we go Kings. And we are already screwed. Right, we'll go from De'Aaron Fox because I don't want to take Sabonis. Right, we are already fucking cooked. At this point, you've got to be kidding me. Now I can't even take Dame at point. Oh my god. Fucking Clyde was a 2, I believe. So I can't even take Clyde because there's no way I can move Ant to 3. That'd be ridiculous. We'll take what the heck? Pardon the technical difficult. What in the world? Aldridge. Take LaMarcus Aldridge. What the fudge? Wonderful. Please. The Suns? Durant. Okay, we'll cancel out Durant, so we'll cancel out Ants. Here I just need Kareem. Or Shaq. Or Shaq. But I still lost. You can cancel out Ants. You can cancel out KDs. Shaq probably beats Jokic, but I think LeBron is going to kill Marcus Aldridge, and Luka is going to kill De'Aaron Fox. So another day, another loss to the Monstars, who are now unbeatable. I haven't gotten MJ any time that I have done this. I need MJ and his secret sauce. That is what I need here. And then we're just going to keep going through the drafts now. We have got our soccer draft, all-time players. Let's see if we can actually do something proper here. We start with Arsenal. And we're going to take Thierry Henry. One of the best players to never win a Ballon d'Or. I think him, Neymar, is just like right up there. Dortmund. Huh. There's a couple choices here. I could go early career Lewandowski, obviously. Marco Royce is also a good shout. I'll probably go Marco Royce in midfield. After that, please don't give me Benfica all-time players. Obviously, Eusebio. Clear option for Benfica. And then you have got to be kidding me. Oh, we'll just go Porto all-time players then too. Just knock out both Portuguese teams. We'll take Deco in the midfield for them. Well, that's both Portuguese teams. So now we should be due for the greatest player of all time. And that attacking trio is disgusting of Henry, because we've already seen Henry and Messi play together at Barcelona. I think that was 2000. Oh my goodness. Right. Where do I go here? Oh wow. There are a lot of options. Obviously, midfield, I could go Zidane. I could go Modric. I could go Roberto Carlos or Marcelo. I could go Casillas. I could go Sergio Ramos. I have a lot of options here. Go Marcelo. Just because I feel like I don't ever get good outside backs. So just having that say fucking shite. Right. I think Ruben Diaz he played for Benfica. Not for a long time, but he did play for Benfica. Please stop, don't move. Bayern Munich. Take Manuel Neuer. And then, oh, you've got to be kidding me. Stop giving me these Portuguese teams. I don't. Concentrao was a left back, so I can't. I already have Marcelo there, so I can't take him. Oh, who are these other Benfica left backs that I can't remember? Or not left backs, center backs. I think Luisao. I could be very wrong in his position though, but if I'm not mistaken, he was a center back. Stay there. Don't move. Freeze. Thank you. Trent. And then give me a good midfielder here. Someone that I am okay with taking. Oh. No. Cool. So my front three is insane. Midfield isn't bad. Deco, the combination of Deco Maradona isn't bad. Royce kind of is a sore thumb there. Then backline leaves a lot to be desired, as per usual with these drafts now at this point, because I can never pick a good back line. Probably should have gone Sergio Ramos, and then I could have taken Concentrao instead of Marcelo. But yeah, it's whatever. You live, you learn, I guess. But then again, I have been learning more than I've been living, so whatever. Now we are done with the soccer drafts. NFL draft. We got to draft our quarterback here. Hopefully, it's better than what I've been doing. Commanders will take Jaden Daniels' mobility. Please be kind to me. Allow me to do something good. Don't give me the fucking Cleveland Browns. Who in the world do they have? No, not Myles Garrett anymore. Well, I can't take Shador. What am I going to take him for? I can't take Dylan Gabriel either. Deshaun Watson? I can't take his body. His IQ is down the drain. He's not clutch. Who the heck am I supposed to take here? Deshaun Watson's arm. For all I know, I have no idea what the heck I'm supposed to take there. Please. Hurts. The dude is a tank. We'll take his body. Right, that's better than nothing. Please continue to be kind to me. I can't have the same quarterback. Again. Let's see who we get. Stay there. Oh, fuck. Malik Willis. Fucking accuracy? I have no idea. This is giving me the worst selection of quarterbacks I could ever imagine. Watch. Now it's about to give me him. Burrow. He's perhaps one of the smartest quarterbacks in the NFL. I'll take that. Right. Can't have the same player. Can't have Jaden Daniels again. So please help me. Oh, you have got to be kidding me. For all the things that Justin Herbert is, clutch is not one of them. Oh my. Dude, I think I just built an 0-17 quarterback. Something I tried to do, I think, last draft or 2 drafts ago. Not a 17-0 quarterback. This dude is trash. He can move and he's smart, but he is the most average arm with average accuracy, and he is horrible in the clutch. So if you are down late, you're screwed. Man, this is horrible. Oh my God. Now we are building a team, and format has shifted a bit. Instead of just defense and defensive player, now we draft D-line, linebackers, and DB. So we're drafting a full defense here. Let's see who we get. Starting off with the Packers. I'm gonna just take Josh Jacobs. Not gonna. Do we count him? Tight end. No, because I'm blanking on his name. I can't even remember his name, so we're not gonna count him. Jordan Love. Josh Jacobs is potential nasty man. I don't feel great about Christian Watson or Jaden Reed. Their D-line doesn't exactly inspire confidence. We'll go LaFleur. I guess. Um, keep going. Yes, Vikings. Jettas. Okay. What in the world? Now we're getting somewhere. Okay, who else do we get? Oh, keep rotating, keep rotating, keep rotating. Buccaneers. Who do we take? O-line is horrible. They should be healthy this year. So you got Wirfs, you got your center too is very good. It's a solid O-line. Colts will take Jonathan Taylor. If you have not noticed, I'm saving the defense for Broncos, Texans, and Steelers. Steelers have a good DB room. Commanders don't have anything. Who do I take from the Commanders? Oh my goodness. Odafe Owen doesn't exactly inspire confidence in me. And their D-line, neither does their linebacker core unless you believe that Sonny Styles is going to be the next coming of Bobby Wagner, which maybe. Actually, take the Commanders. Because I do believe Sonny Styles is the next coming of Bobby Wagner. What else? What else? What else? Keep going, keep going, keep going. Please, 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 please. Fudge. The Colts. I guess we could go Tyler Warren. It's not horrible. I need a good quarterback, and I could need good defenses. No, the Titans are none of the above. Fuck. I guess we'll go Cam Ward. I had him. He's gonna have a much better season this year. Fucking A, dude. Now, D-line or DBs? Take the Eagles D-line. Eagles D-line is very good. I feel comfortable with that. Please bless me. Oh, it's always no. Oh my. Buccaneers. We'll go Abuka. And the DBs. Please be nice. You've got to be kidding me. That is disgusting. That is horrible in every way possible. Yeah, no, that team is like 9-8, dude. I don't even know what to tell you. That is a 9-8 team. Nah, probably what? 10-7? Yeah, I'd say like 10-7. It's not great, but it's not horrible either. So I'll say 10-7 pretty comfortably. Okay, now we are on to the guessing games. Let's see if we are able to get these players. It's a guard in the West or in the East. Who's a guard in the East? Taller than 6'2". Guard in the East, taller than 2'6". Jalen sucks. Oh, wow, nice. Southeast, he's 6'5". So it's not the Magic. Is Dyson Daniels a guard? So that's a potential player right there. Washington. Is this LaMelo? No, LaMelo's too tall. It's only 24. I feel like he's been in the league a lot longer than that. Is this Hero? No. So what? This dude is like 27. So it's not Orlando. It's not Charlotte. It's not Miami. Who does that leave us? Is that Dyson? It is the Hawks. Who the heck are the Hawks guards now? Well, it's obviously not CJ because that's way too old for CJ. Hawks guards. You have what? CJ. No, because Jalen Johnson is a forward. 3, right? Yeah, I think Jalen Johnson's a 3. Buddy on the. Buddy's a forward. Nikhil Alexander Walker. Yep. Nice. He had a good season. He just disappeared in the playoffs. Hide the photo for the soccer player. We go. Fucking A. Can I spell? Bruno. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. That's a lot. I am too good at this game. I mean, there was only so many options I could have been when I got four of them right off the bat. And then NFL, AJ Brown. So I'm assuming this is a big boy in the AF or the NFC. Big boy in the NFC. Go George Kittle. He's a tight end. He's not in the NFC West. Big boys. Is TJ bigger than that? He is in the NFC North. It's not Minnesota. It definitely can't be Loveland, right? Because he had more fantasy points than that. It is Chicago, though. Cole Kmet. Here it is. There it is. I am too good at these games. Now we're going to go over to Hoopgo and have some fun. Let's see. Ray Allen. That is a very solid third tier. Oh, is this? This could be Celtics. Put him 4. What is this? Jamal Crawford, Eric. Is this shooters? I don't know what this category is. Oh, this is shooters. No, it's not. What is this category? $2,000 plus made threes. Probably move Paul Pierce up for Lowry. But then, other than that, I'd say that's fine. I'm not complaining about that. After that, we'll do Defensive Players of the Year. Tyson Chandler, tier 4. Rudy Gobert, tier 3. Smart, tier 4. Jaren Jackson, tier 4. Joakim Noah, tier 4. David Robinson, tier 3. Artest, 3. Morning, 2. MJ, and then bleh. Yuck. Keep 4, cut 4. Brandon Miller, we'll cut him. Shoot. Keep Paolo. Keep Castle. I really like Castle. And Mobley will keep. Bronny, get the J-Dub will keep. Tyrese Maxey, no! My ray of sunshine! No! 87, who the heck? Tyrese Maxey, no! I love Tyrese Maxey. What in the... Start bench cut with Hallie, Gilbert Arenas, and Baron Davis. Hold the phone. What in the world? Go Hallie, Gilbert, and Davis. Oh, wow. Good debate right there. LeBron, MJ, LeBron, Kareem. Oh, Dr. J. Dr. J, start. What do I do with Wilkins and Carter? I go Vince, and then I go Wilkins. Ew. Ew, brother, ew. Right, this is nasty. Jaren Jackson Jr., DeAndre Ayton, and Tingus Pingus. We'll go. Tingus hasn't played at all, so we'll go Ayton there and Jackson there. 0% of people agree with me. Well, no kidding. Right now, Jalen Brunson is the king of the world right now. He's king of New York. No, Nash, Brunson, Carmelo. Kind of hot take, but that is what it is. That is it for NBA games. We'll go build our FIFA team. Last time I did FIFA 21, I think I got a 194. I was blessed with the craziest roster humanly imaginable. And we'll start off with... I'll take Rijkaard for the chemistry because we get 97 prime Ronaldo. We'll go Luis Suarez. Take Raheem Sterling. Makelele works. Gnabry, I guess that doesn't change too much. We'll go that geezer in the Prem. Take John Stones, he's a Prem. We'll take this geezer as well. And Alex Tellez. Okay, we've got chemistry in the back. The rating is just not great. We'll take Boateng. Fucking shitty non-rares. McTominay helps. I don't know with what. Koke for the rating. Rodri maybe helps with something. do I take here? None of these guys help me with anything. Nedved, none of these guys help me with anything. I need defenders who can contribute something to my team. My God, no, Cuadrado, you're not helping. Alan Shearer, sure, save my chemistry. Lenglet, you not helping. Goodness gracious, God save the Queen of England. Oh my God, my backline is shite. Holy crud. Wow. That is an atrocity. And I started with him and Rijkaard. Oh my goodness. This is why I can't have nice things. But in honor of the World Cup, we're going to send another foot draft. 2-for-1 special. We're going to go a 3-4-2-1 formation here. And we'll start off with Neto in goal, I guess. And then we'll take Van Basten. And Mane, I guess. There we go. Ooh, prime George Best. Fabregas can work. Can definitely work. Oh, but he's not at Chelsea anymore. God dang it. What the heck? Ziyech, not at Chelsea either. David Luiz, you're a Prem player. Him. Plays in the Prem, gets his chemistry. Championship. La Liga. Oh, that guy. He gets chemistry from everyone. Him. So the chemistry isn't horrible. There we freaking go. Cannavaro fixes a lot of chemistry issues. We'll take that geezer. Sanchez. Take him. Song, Gaia, Nacho, and Allison. Allison works. Stop giving me these defenders that I can't use. We'll take Kane. Jonathan Goretzka's not going to help me in any way, shape, or form here. Right. Actually, that could work. Take him. You go there. You go there instead of what did I have before? 92. Yeah, the chemistry went up a lot. Okay, that works. Oh, that very much works. Thank you. Get the heck out of here, Hasim Ziyech. Neymar, apparently. Cool. Doesn't lower my rating at all. And then Van Dijk. Take a 91 colon. And 95, Joshua Kimmich. Oh, no. Right, Kimmich on you get. Coman on you get. Otamendi on you get. And we have ourselves a 192. Redemption is here. Much better than what I did before. That comment, dude, getting Son, that comment, this right here helped me so much. I'm surprised Neymar fits here. But hey, I'll take it. And then we're not playing NFL Wordle, the team game. Look at this defense and tell me what you see. I see a Notre Dame safety. I see the Ravens, which it is not. I saw Kyle Hamilton. Alabama linebackers. And Ohio State edge rushers. Well, it's not the 49ers, obviously, because BYU is nowhere to be found. So that would be Freddie. Could be the Colts, but JT isn't starting yet. Joey doesn't necessarily make sense either. Joey doesn't make sense either. Who is UCF DB? It's not Joey. It's not Nick. Doesn't make sense for this to be the Saints either. Because no, this is not the Saints. Yeah, because that's not Young. It's not JT and the Colts. I'll guarantee that. Who are the other Ohio State edge rushers? There's obviously not the Steelers because Jack Sawyer doesn't start. That's obviously TJ Highsmith and Herbig, which two of them are Wisconsin guys. Oregon. Is this the Giants? Is that Thibodeau? No. Who are these edge rushers? Oregon edge rushers. What in the world could this be? It's not the Clemson DBs. Obviously, both of the Terrell brothers, Avion, both of the Terrell brothers. So it's not them though. Can't be the Bucks. It's obviously not the Panthers because J.C. Horn isn't there. So that's the NFC South. The North. I don't know who this is. One last guess here. It's not the NFC or the AFC North. It's not the Giants. Definitely not the Eagles. There's not enough Georgia on the board, and Toledo is not. Toledo and Iowa aren't there. Not the Cowboys. No, not the Cowboys. Not the Commanders. Definitely not the Rams. Not the Seahawks. Worry. Who this is, I don't know. Hail Mary guess here. Chargers. How is this the Falcons? How is this the Falcons? Who is this? Who is that? Who is that Ohio State defender? That is blasphemy. Time to build our lineup here. I like Purdy. I like Swift. I feel like those are two very overlapping skill sets. Chase Brown at 4 is ridiculous, by the way. There, and then I'll go like that. Mar Henry, yeah, that makes sense. I can see that. Yeah, I can respect that. Makes sense. All right, the last thing we're gonna do is we're gonna guess top 10 in MVP voting in the 2010s. So obviously Curry, LeBron, Harden, Westbrook, Giannis, Durant, Paul, George, Cousins is not there. Thompson's probably on there. Draymond is probably on there. 2011. D Rose is on there. Kawhi is on here in some capacity. Paul George, Chris Paul, I've already said. Lillard is on here in some capacity. Doncic is not. Booker on here in some capacity. He's not. Jokic on here in some capacity. Embiid is probably on here in some capacity. Pelicans, Anthony Davis, Toronto, Kyle Lowry. 2018 Spurs, DeRozan. 2018 Minnesota, Thomas, Washington. Is that Beal or is that Wall? That's Wall. Clippers, DeAndre Jordan. No, it's Blake Griffin. Chicago. Is that fucking Joakim Noah? Charlotte. Is that Kemba Walker? No. Portland. Is that Aldridge? Memphis. Is that Gasol? San Antonio. Is that Tony Parker? Kobe. Oh, Dwight's probably on here. Dallas is probably Dirk. Miami is Wade. The Knicks is Carmelo. Manu, the Knicks. And then Boston is at Pierce. Garnett. Who is that Boston guy? Ray Allen. Neither of the above. Minnesota. Garnett. It's not KG somehow. Phoenix. That Nash. Fucking Tim Duncan, obviously. Utah in 2010. Utah. Who the heck was on Utah in 2010? And who is this in 2018 in Minnesota? (2018) Minnesota. Who the heck is? Who is on that 2014 Charlotte Hornets? That's not Kemba Walker. I'm assuming these guys are the same player here. Oh, is that Rondo? That makes sense. Minnesota and New York. 2010 fucking Jeremy Lin? Morning, no. Who in the world is this? Alright, so who the fudge are these players? Minnesota. Who the heck was on Utah and Phoenix in 2010? Jeez. My ball knowledge is gone. But then again, no one ever cares about the Utah Jazz. Is that Jason Kidd? No. Shaq. Nope. Malone. He's way too old at that point. Who is this? Oh. No. Oh, what's his name? I can see him so clearly in my head. Oh, Darren Williams. There it is. That's who it is. Darren Williams. I don't know who these other players are. Oh, obviously Jimmy Butler. Al Jefferson. I can't spell his name. If I knew how to spell his free name, would have gotten that. So that is the end of the episode. I had a fun time today. I had a fun time with recording Game Time, talking about the World Cup. Soccer is always something I really love talking about. First love in terms of sports, always will be. But yeah, that is all that I have for today. No extra hoopla, no other previews. NBA season is coming to an end. The NFL, I talked about the news, but there's no other previews. Yeah, training camp starts, but that's going to start in July. And all of the previews from next episode on are going to be World Cup related. So that is all that I have for y'all today. I shall see you next episode in the full glory of the FIFA World Cup and potentially the end of the NBA Finals, by the way. But until then, peace.